Okay, hello. Hi everyone. Sorry, I was just trying to get my screen going there, so I apologize for the a few second delay. Um, uh, Glad to have everyone joining us. It's been a crazy year. I haven't seen you for a long time. Um, so before we get going, let me quickly just all of you have a look at the disclaimer on the screen. Um, uh, Essentially, it says that trading is extremely risky. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. And what we're going to be discussing today is not a prompt, to trade. Obviously, it's not trading advice. It's purely for educational purposes. All right. With that being said, let me switch to my MetaTrader, and I'll introduce myself briefly for those of you who don't know. My name is Ilan Asbel. I am one of the founders and currently the CEO at Autochartist, which is a tool. It's a market scanning and risk management tool that we're going to be demoing today. The tool is available for free if you're a live account holder at FP Markets. So put your guard down. No one's trying to sell you anything or pitch you anything. This is purely educational. FP Markets already pays for your license on your behalf. So I'm not here to try and sell you anything. Just hopefully you can all learn. Now, I obviously do have the questions panel open, so feel free to ask me questions. I don't have an assistant today during the webinar. It's all me. So please bear with me if I don't get to your question immediately. I'm looking at three monitors. I'm looking at the video camera, I'm looking at my trading screen, and then on the right, I'm looking at a monitor with all the questions and answers and chats. So I'm trying to keep my eye on a lot of different things. But we'll see how we do. I guess I should have done this first. I presume everyone can hear me loud and clear. Yes. I see Daniel is saying he can hear me loud and clear, which is great. Thank you, Daniel. All right. If I'm a little fuzzy this morning, it's because it's 4 a.m. I've been up since 2. So I'll do my best. Nothing like an early morning. So first things first. Where do you get the tool? In order to get the Autochartist tool and the plugin I'm going to show you into MetaTrader, you log into your FP Markets account. Michael was good enough to lend me his account, so I can show you what that looks like. If you click on Trading Tools, Autochartist, there is a download section, a download plugin for MetaTrader section over here, and you can click here and allow you to download the app. There's a whole bunch of other features which we will go into possibly in other presentations. Today is kind of a first of a series of 3 webinars discussing the tool. Today is mostly just an overview. Next one will be risk management, and the following one will be about choosing the best trade setups. So if you click on this MetaTrader plugin link, it'll actually take you to our website, and there's a download button on the top right, as well as 4 simple videos. These are, I think, 3 or 4 minute videos, and they'll probably tell you everything that I'm telling you, except in the space of 15 minutes instead of listening to me for an hour. So the really cute little videos, well curated and well scripted. Getting back to the business at hand, to download this plugin, you click the download button, and then you go through a wizard. The click goes next, and at the end of it, you're done, and you'll have in your MetaTrader a little expert advisor there called Autochartist. You'll also have one other thing called the Autochartist Risk Calculator. So you'll have 2 of those. The one we'll be talking about mostly today is the Autochartist Expert Advisor, which is a market scanner. Now, I know it's called an expert advisor, and that's because it uses certain technologies that are available only to the expert advisors in MetaTrader. But don't worry, it does not trade on your behalf, right? This is not an automated trading tool. It's simply a market scanner. And let me show you what I mean by that. So if I drag and drop that EA onto the chart, you can literally just push OK. There is no need to allow anything, change any settings. You can literally just push OK, and in a matter of a few seconds, what will happen is you'll get Autochartist telling you what's going on in the market. All right, and this panel, this Autochartist panel here, is actually linked to your market watch window. So you can see in my market watch window, I have it looks like 36 instruments, and so this is why Autochartist has got so many trading opportunities or trade setups here. It's got 9 pages worth because I've got so many instruments configured in my market watch. So if you want to reduce the number of pages, you should reduce the number of instruments in your market watch. Typically, um, uh, depending on what asset classes you're trading. Right? So if you're trading single stocks, then you're obviously showing a lot more stocks. But if you're trading FX or currencies or even cryptos become more popular these days, then you typically have in the region of 5 to 10 instruments in your market watch window. If you're trading more than that, you're really pushing the boundaries of what a human is capable of doing. But I've got a lot of them here so that I can show you a lot of different trade setups on Autochartist. So Autochartist itself identifies many different types of trade setups, and I'll show you just a couple of these. So the first one is this thing called a big movement or extreme movement. And what that tells you, it notifies you of situations when an instrument has moved more than the 95th percentile of its normal trading range. Okay, so what this is telling us here is the Oz 200, which is the Australian primary Australian index for the Australian market, has moved on the daily candles. You can see it says D1, a very, very large movement down. Okay, same thing for the UK 100, absolutely massive move down over the last few days. And you can see, obviously, I live in the US, as you can hear by my accent. Kidding, but I do live in the US, but you can hear the South African accent. The US markets are absolutely tanking, and all my friends here in the US are asking me what they should be buying and what they should be selling. So it's a huge topic of conversation, obviously, in day-to-day life at the moment in the US, but what's going to happen to the markets. And so typically when the US market drops, you know what they say, when the US market gets a cough, the rest of the world market get a cold, right? And so you can see that this is going on here. The US is going down, Germany is going down, Japan is going down, a lot of red all over the place. Okay, so I'm gonna. There's a lot of these big movements happening at the moment, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna filter them out for now, and I do that by clicking on this little filter icon. And on this filter icon, there's a filter window that comes up, and you can see here the different types of trading setups that Autochartist identifies. It identifies the technical chart patterns, Fibonacci patterns, key levels. Key levels are horizontal support and resistance levels, big movements, and consecutive candles. And I'll run through a brief example of each of these so that we all kind of know what we're talking about, but we're not going to go very much in depth. This is kind of, I guess, a lesson on technical analysis, but very, very shallow. We're not going to go into each different types of trade setups and discuss them in detail. Oops, I forgot to untick big movements. Sorry, I was going to untick big movements and get rid of some of those. Okay, we're down to 3 pages only, okay, of results. Okay, so let's look at some of these opportunities that Autochartist identified. So notice I'm on the US 300 daily chart, and this first opportunity here was a pennant, a breakout bullish pennant on the US Japanese yen 4-hourly chart. So when I click this view button, it takes me to the dollar yen chart on a 4-hourly chart, and you can see here. Actually, I think I have my flux installed. Let me disable my flux, and this might make my screen a little bit brighter. So you can see here that Autochartist draws for you the support and resistance level that that it identified, and then you can see the breakout. Let me highlight those for you. So here's the resistance level, here's the support level, and here's the breakout. So you can see that the price moved between those lines, right? And now it's broken through those levels. Okay. Now, um, uh, 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 um, in general, I mean, the theory of chart patterns is quite clear. Let me see what this looks like on. Let me try to get a bigger pattern, a longer term pattern here. I can show you another example. Here's a longer term pattern. Okay, a little bit clearer. So the theory of technical chart patterns is quite simple and really forms the groundwork of everything that Autochartist does. Is that the theory is that the price moves between overbought and oversold levels, right? And what that means is that when a market reaches a high, it essentially means that psychologically speaking, the market in general feels that the price is too high, right? And then when it goes to a low, it feels the price is too low. And then again, it goes to a high, it says the price is too high, and then a low. And so there's this movement between high and low, and these are called overbought and oversold levels, right? The top is overbought, the bottom is oversold. And so you have these overbought, oversold levels. And in some situations, these overbought, oversold levels they form these predefined chart patterns, right? So the one I clicked on, GBPCAD hourly, GBPCAD hourly, is a triangle. Okay, and you can see that triangle forming pretty clearly. Well, for me, it's pretty clear. I hope it's pretty clear for everyone too. And so once the price the theory is that once the price has broken through the support or resistance line, the resistance being the green line on the top, the support being the blue line at the bottom, once it breaks through, it says, hey, that the price was trading between these overbought and oversold levels, but now there's been a change in what's going on, right? It's now broken through one of those levels, and the theory is that, let's say in this situation, the price broke through resistance, and now there's going to be a continuation of the trend long towards this gray area here on the top right. That is the gray area is, let me move this out the way. So the gray area is what we call the target region of where the price is potentially going. And I say potentially because Autochartist is not something new or innovative in the market. Yeah, it's cool technology, but really what it is, it's an automation of Dow theory, and Dow theory has existed since the 1930s, right? So this is simply an automation because unlike something like a RSI or a moving average or a Bollinger Band as a technical indicator, picking up trading patterns is not an arithmetic process. You can't just tell the computer 1 + 1 = 2, right? You cannot. It doesn't work that way. It's a very much a visual cortex process, right? About trying to identify something that looks visually appealing and visually correct. Okay, and so the price is now potentially heading up towards this target level, and let's actually before I place a trade, let me show you a couple more examples. So here is an example on NZDUSD that which is a different type of trading opportunity. This one is it's telling us it's a resistance line. Okay, and so Autochartist did pretty well there. You can see that it identified this level of consolidation pretty well, right? So it's a good resistance line that it's identified. But notice one thing, that the icon is gray, right? The gray icon means that the price has not yet broken through. And you can see that very clearly on this chart. If the candle, the latest candle, was a breakout, right? Something, well, let me erase these drawing objects. If, let's say, the next candle was a breakout, broke through that green line, then there would be a target region, right? And the theory would be that the price would be going up to that target region. But in this situation, there is no target region. There is no, because there is no breakout, right? So what it's actually saying to us, what Autochartist is saying, is that the price is getting close to this line. Be wary. Be wary that there might be a breakout. There might be a trading opportunity. Okay. Let me show you actually that Autochartist can do the same thing with technical chart patterns. So I want to highlight something for you back at the search screen. So if you can see on chart patterns, I've only got this thing called completed. It's actually the same as what we call completed or breakout. But on key levels, we've got breakouts and approaches selected. This is why you can see these approaching opportunities on the key levels, and also there's a breakout opportunity on key levels, but there's no emerging on the chart patterns. But what we can do is we can actually select emerging patterns on chart patterns, and we'll get many more opportunities. And now we can see what's actually emerging. So on NZDCAD 4-hourly chart, I just click that button. Let's see what's going on. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So Autochartist has done quite a good job here of identifying this opportunity, and you can see that the price is moving of KiwiCAD. The price is moving between support resistance, and in the last few 4-hourly candles, the price seems to have dipped a little bit, turned around, right? And so what Autochartist is telling us is that the KiwiCAD is trading in a downward trend. Let's see if we can find an upward trend. Example, GBPCAD. Here's something on GBPCAD. You can see another beautiful trade setup that Autochartist identified, this bullish trend on GBPCAD. This has been happening over quite a few days, probably over a week on the 4-hourly charts. And you can see again quite clearly that the price has turned around off the support level and now heading up again towards resistance. It's been going for 17 minutes. I'll show you a couple more examples, and then we can actually place a few trades. I'm gonna, you know what? There aren't that many right now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these here, and what I will show you are also some Fibonacci patterns. So let me try find a Fibonacci pattern. Here's a Fibonacci pattern called the Gartley. Now, Fibonacci patterns are extremely complex. I'm not going to try explain them to you. If you're a Fibonacci trader, you will love this tool because Fibonacci patterns are extremely complicated to identify. Autochartist identifies all the major Fibonacci patterns from very simple retracements all the way through to butterflies, Gartleys, and all the range in between. And so they're very, very difficult to identify, and there are many traders that use Autochartist to do that. Here's a butterfly pattern, which is one of the most complex Fibonacci patterns you can find. You can see that there's that butterfly pattern over there. I'm not going to go into that. If you trade Fibonacci, it probably means you're a very, very experienced trader, and you certainly don't need my help in trading that. Okay, so let me place a few trades to show you what that looks like. Let's first look at a very simple example. So let's look at dollar yen, right? So dollar yen, there was a breakout. Okay, so let's look at that. There was a breakout. You can see that the breakout was very short, very, very small. Actually, the candle that formed the breakout is very small. And then the next candle was bearish. So there wasn't really, in my view, a confirmation of the breakout. So I'm going to skip this pattern and I'm not going to trade it. I'm going to look at pound CAD. Love this. Why do I love this? I love this because there was a very strong breakout. You can see that the bullish bars are very at the end are very strong. There's a confirmation, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to trade this up to this level, this gray area. So I have $1,000 in my account, and GBPCAD is a very strange cross pair because you know, it's not $1 a pip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my Autochartist risk calculator, and I'm going to figure out how much, what my position size should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my stop loss at the previous turning point, which is over here at 169.853. And I want to trade long, and I want to risk $100 because I have $1,000 in my account. So I want to risk $100. So my risk in pips at that orange line is 58 pips. I want to risk $100, so I want to set a volume of 0.22. So let me see what that looks like. So I'll open my position window, 0.22 with a stop loss, buy at market. Okay, so now I'm in the market, all right? And so, and I know that if I hit my stop loss, I am only risking $100. Of course, that's an estimate, $100, because you know, there could be some slippage or market move, unforeseen market moves. But don't worry too much about this. I'm kind of giving you a flavor of what we're going to be talking about in the next webinar. We're going to be talking a lot about risk management. Okay, so in the meantime, here we are. There was a breakout. I placed a trade long. We'll see how we go. Right now, it's going against me. I'm not panicking yet. I've got my stop loss. Okay, let's look at another trading opportunity that we can try and place. We can see pound yen, very, very similar in nature, except there's been a strong pullback. Let's see what else we have on the cards. Oh, I missed this Brent or this WTI, the West Texas Instruments. Which one is it showing me now? Oh, I think it showed me, I'm not sure what I clicked on. Sorry, everyone. I want to try and find something that I haven't traded before, not a chart pattern. Here we go. Euro ORD. I think I'm going to try look at this Euro ORD example. Okay, here we go. So Euro ORD, this was a resistance line that it broke through. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this trade. I like setting my stop loss at the previous major turning point. And now remember, the previous position we took on GBPCAD was on the 4-hourly chart. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place a trade on Euro ORD on the daily chart. Again, I'm going to risk $100, but this stop loss here is absolutely massive. It's 500 pips in size, but I only want to risk $100. So the risk calculator is telling me to only risk 0.03 of a lot, right? So 0.03 with a stop loss at this level, and I'm going to buy at market. So there we are. I'm in the market on two different instruments that have nothing to do with $1 or $10 per pip, but I've risked the same amount of money. Oh, Sam is asking me if I can remove my pic so that my the picture is bigger. Sure, Sam, I can actually remove my video, no problem. Let me do that. Okay. So I hope everyone can see that better. I've removed my picture. Okay. So let me turn that off. Okay. And so here's some really interesting setups I'm looking at. The US 100 with the head and shoulders. I guess Autochartist maybe didn't draw that as beautifully as it should have. You know, I may have, as a human, drawn the I may have drawn that a little bit differently, but I think it did a pretty good job of identifying that. And Autochartist has a, you know, head and shoulders of pretty good patterns to follow. I found them to be very reliable. Okay, let me show you a couple more features while we're at it. There is a type of trading setup that we've also identified. It's called consecutive candles, and I'll just disable all these other things and just enable big movement to consecutive candles for a moment. So here we go, big movement. I'm going to try find a consecutive candles opportunity. Here we go. So what does consecutive candles mean? Consecutive candles means that Autochartist has identified an exceptional amount of consecutive bullish or bearish candles. And you can see this example on the Kiwi. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive bearish daily candles, which is an exceptional amount. You know, I'm guessing that, you know, a few weeks ago, Autochartist probably would have identified something similar over here with the bullish candles, right? But obviously that's long gone, and so we're looking at the bearish candles over here, right? And so now many people ask me, Ilan, is it possible to actually trade these big movements in these consecutive candles? And the reality is that I found really two styles of traders in the market. Well, there are a couple more, but I leave a statistical arbitrage to the more professional traders. Not really what we're talking about here, but you know, mostly traders are either trend traders or swing traders, and so it brings me to an interesting topic in that the two trades I placed before were based on trend trading strategies, right? There was a breakout, and we feel that the trend is now going to, there's a new trend that's going to continue, and so we place the trade with the trend. But there is, of course, other ways to trade. So a mean reversion trader would look at this and say, hey, there is an opportunity to go long on NZD on the Kiwi because the price has moved so low now, we think it's going to go up, right? So what would that look like? Again, I'm going to skip the risk management side of it. I'm just going to trade a very small position, just show what that looks like. So this potentially would be a opportunity to trade long if you're a mean reversion trader or a swing trader, and you think that the price of the Kiwi has gone down too much. Okay, I'm going to close that position. Now, the same thing is actually applicable to chart patterns. And let me show you what that means, or approaching chart patterns and approaching key levels. Now things get a little bit more complicated. Sorry, let me just read a question from Daniel. Oh, Daniel is just saying to Sam that he can also remove the picture, my picture from the webinar software. He doesn't have to actually ask me to do that. I'll enable my video in just a moment again. In the meantime, I want to show you a slightly more complex topic, which is pending orders, and you know what you can do with pending orders with Autochartist. So let's look at that example. I think we might have looked at this before. This is I don't like that one. The turnaround it's too soon on the turnaround. Let's look at, yeah, I like this one. Let's look at this one. So you can see in this situation, the price is started to trend up in the last few candles. Now, people ask me, Lan, how do you trade this? There's been no breakout yet. The trend is going up. What do you do? What does this actually mean? So the swing traders among you are licking your lips, really. So there are really a number of ways of trading this. The first way to trade it is to trade with a trend, right, up to the resistance line. Okay, so that's an opportunity, one type of opportunity to trade. The two other types of opportunities that they are possible to trade this is to trade a pending order, right? So actually a sell limit at this price. So if this price hits this line, then the mean reversion people amongst you will think, oh, the price has gone up too much, it's time to go short. Or the trend traders among you might want to set a buy stop limit at this price to go long, right? So there's actually 3 different ways of trading these emerging patterns. Now, I know that this is really, really complex. Very, very complex topic. Many people are not even comfortable talking about stop orders or limit orders. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you this specifically for this example, the different opportunities. So the first way to trade this, and let me use the risk calculator again. Well, the first way to trade is obviously at the spot price to go long, and I'm not going to show you that opportunity, but I'm going to show you some of the limit and stop order strategies that we can have. Okay, so first to look at the sell limit opportunity. So let's just say if the price hits that level, which is close to the resistance line, we feel that the price has gone up a lot and it's going to go down. So what we would do is we would set our stop loss above the entry price. Okay, and so when we place our order, what would that look like? So follow carefully. Obviously, for my risk, I would trade first. I would change it to a pending order. Okay, my risk I would trade at 0.13. My stop loss I would set at my orange line, right? And what I want to do is I want to set a sell limit order, okay? At what price? At my green line, okay? And so what I'll do is I'll set it like that. Okay, good. So now I'm in the market. So if the price, let me draw that for you again. If the price hits this level, then we're trading short with a stop loss at the orange line, right? Okay, I hope that's clear for everyone. Now, we could go the other way. So what we want to do is the trend traders among you might say, okay, if it crosses the green line, it's actually going to continue to go up, right? So I'm going to then, the other way to do it is to, I don't want to change my order. Oopsie, I changed my order there by mistake. Anyway, what we'll do is if it goes towards the green line, crosses the green line, I'm going to trade long with a stop loss at this orange line, right? So that's the other way of doing it. So let's see what that looks like. I would set a pending order, and that would be a buy stop limit with a similar kind of a volume, 0.11. My stop loss would be at this price, my entry price over here, and I would place the order. So let me get rid of my risk calculator. In this situation, what I've done is if the price hits this level, instead of going short, I'm going long with this line here as my stop loss. Okay, so Walter is saying you're looking at GBP order and trade GBPCAD. Are you crazy? Oh my, no, I'm trading GBP order. Walter, you can see that my pending orders over here that I've got are GBP order, unless I've misunderstood. The GBPCAD was another trade I made as an example earlier. Okay, so as you can see, right, yeah, Walter admitted okay, Walter, you know, it's so early in the morning, I actually thought you caught me out there, but I'm glad that, I'm glad that I am still, my brain is functioning a little bit. Okay, so you can see these 2 pending orders. And so I know this is actually getting very, very complex now, right? But I wanted to show you, you know, the possibilities of what can actually be done with technical analysis. You can get pretty sophisticated. Now, the default search criteria is set to breakout chart patterns, breakout key levels, emerging key levels. And the reason for that is that these are the patterns on which we have past probability statistics. And past probability, although past probability may not be indicative of future probabilities, they certainly try to help skew the stats in your favor. And the last of our webinar series, webinar number 3, is going to deal with looking at past performance stats in order to decide which trading setups to actually follow. Now, I wanted to show you one actually last thing before I open up for questions. Actually, I want to show you 2 things. Firstly, there is an Autochartist application which is available. If you click on the world icon, you get a little link which you can then put into your browser and enter the Autochartist app. This is a slightly older version. In the new year, we'll be shutting this one down and going towards a more modern design, but it's there for you. I'm not going to go into it. It's got the same information in a different layout. There's also trading opportunities charts in the actual website, on the FP Markets website. If you click on Trading Tools, Autochartist, click on Trading Opportunities Charts, you can actually go in here and see what's going on in the markets without having to open up Meta, right? So you can look at what's going on in the Forex market, in the commodities markets, cryptos, metals, etc., and you can also filter for different instruments and different trade setups, very similar to what I showed you in the MetaTrader plugin, but this is obviously in a website. Okay, so again, just something interesting for you to look at. And then there is a market report. So the market report is a daily newsletter from Autochartist that highlights our projections for the market for the next kind of 24 to 48 hours, right? You're not looking at 15-minute or 30-minute short-term projections. We provide longer-term projections, and you can very, very safely subscribe to this because you can unsubscribe at any time. There's an unsubscribe button, and no one's going to spam you. So you can click that and subscribe to that, very, very safely. Now, there is one more thing I want to show you, and that is on my phone. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down, and you should be able to see the screen of my phone. And this is the Autochartist mobile application. So if you want to get notified of these trading setups on your mobile app, you can do it. So what you would do is you would download the Autochartist mobile app from Google Play or Android store. Oops, I flipped it the wrong way around. And then what you can do is you can click this little this little icon here, which is the cell phone icon. And on the mobile app, you can scan it. So you can click on login using QR code. And then I find the QR code. Okay, it's found the QR code, and now it'll log me in. Okay, there we go. So I'm on my mobile app, and now I'm having a look at all the opportunities on my mobile app. Now, the thing is that this mobile app doesn't show you everything. It only shows you filtered content based on what we call our favorites. Our favorites is, I'll give you a quick preview of that for our third webinar in the series. We have these interesting performance statistics, which is the past performance of Autochartist over the last 12 months, and it shows you which patterns we identified, on which instruments we did well, or which we did badly. Again, I'll have to heavily disclaim that presentation, our third webinar. But essentially, what we do for the mobile app is we merge the trading opportunities that you see on Autochartist, on this MetaTrader plugin. We merge them together with the statistics, and we only show you the trade setups with the best past performance. Okay, and from the history, obviously, past performance isn't indicative of future performance. I keep on saying that, but that is what we do. So you don't get completely inundated with alerts. And what you can do on the mobile app is you can actually select which instruments you want to be alerted on and what the probability filter is. So you can set only 75 or 70% more probability on only FX and crypto. And if you click save, now it'll only push notify you if you've enabled that for those high probability events. Okay, and I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this week. So what we're going to be talking about in the next webinars is these little strange blue lines on the very, very end, as well as the risk calculator. We're going to be talking about a lot about risk management, but we'll leave that to next week. And so Walter is telling me that I'm losing money on my live accounts. Thank you, Walter. It's only a couple of dollars, and the positions are still open and moving in my direction as far as I can see. So I'll hang on to that for a little bit, and maybe I'll make back my $10. But I'm less concerned about losing money on this account, and more concerned about educating the rest of you. So with that, maybe I'll turn my video back on and find out if anyone has any questions for me. And if you don't, it means that I have given the best presentation ever in the world, because there's no questions. Okay, I see we still have a lot of attendees, so I guess most of you haven't fallen asleep at my voice. Okay, no questions for today, which is awesome. I gave a perfect presentation. So thank you very much again. Look out for the next webinar in the series. And again, the next webinar is on risk management, and the last webinar is on choosing the best trading opportunities based on past probability. Enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are in the world, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.